of none other than the mighty Professor Smalls alongside these two mighty sisters right here. This one right here is a warrior. Almost made me drop my camera listening to her. Can you talk about, because I've heard you talk about before, the how the Caribbean languages and a lot of the patois, quote-unquote, broken English languages are the grammar construction of those languages at the root are fundamentally African.
Right. Come closer. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Y'all are my children. I'm old enough to be your granddaddy. So, brother's asking about language construction that we call Creole over here. You know, in Haiti, you got a Haitian Creole. In New Orleans, got a Creole, and Jamaica, you got a Jamaican Creole, and so forth. The same St. Thomas and so forth in the Latin areas. But what we are talking about African peoples in the Caribbean and the southern part of the United States that speak English in terms of vocabulary, but speak African in terms of grammar construction. Instead of having vowel, consonant, like the English do, most African languages go consonant, 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 vowel, consonant, 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 vowel. You get it? This sister was talking inside, and she was speaking English, but she was speaking a classical African dialect. Same, I didn't get to talk to Sister Sherlita. The reason I asked those sisters to stand with me, because here they were at the program, and were being like most people, they come to the discussion and then they're walking away just like they were attendees. But I'd like to ask her, what did you just get from being here at watching Hidden Colors 4 and listening to brothers like Sankofa, Irritated Genie, Red Pill, and myself?
There's a lot of awakening that needs to happen. That's what I got. Even though I went to a historically black college and I've been, building the education, reading Maya Angelou, reading Richard Wright, there's so much more I have left to do. And so
you went to Hampton University?
Hampton University.
Is Dr. Harvey still there?
Oh, he will never.
I know he'll never go.
Harvey.
And so I had 3 kids to go there. I'd pay him a lot of money.
He can't go nowhere else.
So what did you think, sister, from being at this lecture today and hearing that discussion? What did you feel?
I mean, of course, I applaud the event because it's definitely necessary to begin the work in our communities. I feel it was to each his own. Whatever level you can receive is what will continue to propel you to continue to move in the right direction. Like for myself, when I came to this event today, I was a little bit still on the fence because I feel like I'm not hearing what I want to hear as far as what action needs to take place. But I felt like a lot of the panelists and a lot of the information is starting to help me rationalize like how long this reconstruct and this takeover of our people, like this black empire, like I'm starting to understand that it's a process, like that's starting to now be drilled into my head, that I have to be patient. I have to be patient.
And that's beautiful because, see, God is one. Now, I used to be a Muslim. I used to go, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Kul huwa Allah ahad, Allahu samad, v'lam yulad, v'lam yulid, v'lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Allahu Akbar. Know that God is one, begets none, knows begotten, and there's none like it unto it. You see you standing there, you look like a woman, right? 23-year-old African woman standing beside a 71-year-old African man. The only difference between me and you is the illusion that's between me and you. Because we come out of the same essence and the same substance in terms of African culture. African culture said the only thing that exists is divinity, and all the rest of us is an expression of an aspect of a particular essence of that divinity. And that, when we understand that, that's when the union, when you don't have to see me to know that you're responsible for me, and I don't have to see you to know I'm responsible for you.
Something. And also, I have an ignorant perspective today because every day I am evolving. But from what I've gathered and broken a lot of chains in my mind, I feel like honestly, if black people just really started to understand this concept of God and that they are God and the power that is within them as black people, you would stop fearing this concept of dying for this cause and this movement and understand that it's
You got it.
it's
You've
just
chosen.
you shouldn't be scared of anything. What do you?
But what you just said right there is one of the key foundation things. You said in there earlier, I know I've been chosen for something, but I don't know what I've been chosen for. All of us, I always tell people, God speaks to everybody every day. The problem is, we're not listening. Every now and then, something makes some of us quiet enough to listen, and then we get an understanding of the African spiritual sacred science, which we call African culture. And you just expressed a knowledge of it, and I know you haven't had the time to do the kind of in-depth studies that would let you arrive at that. So that's why I told you, make that call, and you and the Lord will have a deep conversation. Sister Shalita, before we hang up, I want Sonetta TV to know, and this is that, people who come to these programs have something to say too, and not just those of us who are here. And don't be afraid. Secret to life is to have no fear.
Right. So I'm saying, you want me to say?
Whatever Shalita wants to say.
Okay. Well, I believe in Jesus. Like, I'm a Christian.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Come on here, baby. Come on here, baby. Don't be scared. Come on closer. You believe in the Lord.
I do.
And Jesus as your Savior.
Yes.
I don't blame you. I was scared. I believed in him too, but keep going.
No, that's why I have no fear for dying or anything like that. But I also know that.
So you want to live before you die.
Yeah.
See, not fearing death, but allowing you to live. You call me.
Right.
Because I'm going to tell you the story about Jesus. Jesus and I had a meeting a few years ago.
Oh.
And we had a long talk.
Okay.
And he made a lot of things very clear. Because there was never a man named Jesus that ever lived. No, that's not a negative.
Yeah.
Because those who put together the religious system that we now call Christianity, they were Africans too. Christianity did not start in Europe. It left Africa and went to Europe, and they transformed it into something that barely resembles what went out of Africa. So the Christ, hold me tighter. Don't let go of me, because Jesus ain't going to bother you. Because I'll tell Jesus,
he's in
I'll
here.
take
Holy
your
Spirit,
woman.
I got
Don't
it.
even
I'm good.
try that shit with me.
I'm good.
So, okay, good. So, matter of fact, one of the tapes I did, but they all got bought up, was on the history of Christianity in Africa. I was selling at the table, but I only bought a few.
Oh.
So call me, and I'm going to send you a copy of that.
Okay.
So my whole family, I grew up in the church. My granddaddy raised me was a preacher, so I know Jesus better than you'll ever learn Jesus.
I don't know
And
about
so,
that.
Girl, shoot.
He's
Yes.
in here. It's too late. It's too late. It's
He's
already
where?
done. The Holy Spirit lives inside of me.
She hasn't seen it in college yet.
I haven't. I'm going to watch it.
No,
It'll be
no,
good.
listen, yeah. I understand what you're saying. And all I want you to do is to be willing to do what they said Jesus said.
Mm-hmm.
To know that you are as much the daughter of God as he was the son of God. And when
Right.
that becomes clear, then you can put Jesus in the context, because there was nobody who lived by that name, because they didn't even use the J back then.
Mm-hmm.
So even if we say Yeshua, we can go to all that. And I don't mind. I don't care if it was a historical Jesus or not. Hell, Malcolm died for me. Dr. King died for me.
They did.
You know what I'm saying? So the brothers who lived back then, who was fighting the Roman Empire, and one of them is the one we based the story of Jesus on. It really was a man, and he really did fight, and he really did die to save his people. They just don't tell the story the way the story was originally told. And when we talk about Jesus being inside and the Holy Spirit being inside, that ain't nothing new. Ancient Egyptians was talking about that same Holy Spirit, and they were talking about the same character you call Jesus. They just called it something else. So you still got an African thing going on. We just want you to put it in an African context, and you will.
Yeah,
Because I feel you. You're actually more radical than little sister.
probably. Just
No.
quieter with it.
Listen, I'm a priest. I can feel energy and stuff. So, but I'm glad you ladies came, and I'm going to hear from both of y'all. And you need to look at those brothers and sisters this is Sonetta. Sonetta TV. Sonetta, I wish you was here, boy. I don't know where you are. But it was a nice program. It went very well. I thought the panel was exquisite. The audience was fantastic. People did not leave even when it was over. And these two young ladies, I stopped, not as a flirtatious old man, but I wanted somebody who was involved in the process to not be afraid to be involved. So tell them your name,
Right.
just your first name. You don't
Charlita.
want your mom to get in no trouble with your mommy and stuff.
And Stacy.
And Stacy, both graduates of Hampton University. And African queens and African women, the world belongs to them. It's their time. And if anything happens and our people don't get led, it ain't going to be my fault. I did mine. It's going to be y'all's fault. You got to do yours. Okay. Peace and blessings.